All right, everybody. We
Woo!
are here live, Kyle. We're live. Can you feel it?
Oh,
yeah.
man.
You gonna bust a move today? You gonna do it?
Yeah, well, I don't have the bottom of my shirt button, so I'm not going to get too crazy.
It's all right. Give me the bridge now. See that? That's what I'm talking about right there, baby. You got it, man. See, you can do that. Dude, you look good doing that, dude. You know.
Can't embarrass my kids. They'll be embarrassed.
Hey, man, listen. Anyway, welcome, everybody. This is Laugh, Let, and Eat Live, where this is not edited. This is nothing. This is no holds barred. This is Kyle Draper getting his groove on with Chuck Brown from DC downtown. So it's a great day for me because anytime I get this moment to spend with Kyle Draper is always a good moment in my life. I say that with all the love in my heart for you, Chief. You know that, KD.
Dude, I feel the same about you.
It's always a fun time hanging out with you, and I think the best part of hanging out with you, by the way, for me, right? Now, this is very selfish. I'll admit this is my selfishness, and I'm not going to hide from it.
Okay,
I'll own it. I always walk away with a nugget.
That's good.
I've never talked to you. I've never recorded an episode with you where I did not walk away with a nugget. And
I received that.
I hope people really understand the power of Kyle Draper, because it's really amazing, man. And you're far-reaching now. You're like your reach has. I was thinking about this, by the way. This is not, my shows, they're not scripted, right? This was the thought.
Yeah.
I was like, when I first met Kyle, you were sitting with Phil for our first Potapalooza.
That's right.
Right? 5 years ago, or whatever that was, 4 years ago.
Yeah.
And you were sending out videos of yourself dressed as a woman to happy birthdays.
Yeah. I just told that story on a webinar an hour ago. Oh, true story.
I mean,
Put me in drag and we're going to have some fun.
Yeah. I mean, and that's when I busted it on you guys. I was like, hold up. Who's sending videos of who in drag?
Dude, I forgot that you broke into our episode.
I had to. It was like, dude, you're talking about.
Gosh,
I interrupted you guys. I had not interrupted anybody else's podcast the entire day. But you guys were talking about this. I need to get in on this. Like, is this how to get new realtor business?
That's it. So good. So
Kyle,
good.
Before we dive in, you've been busy, brother. I see your name like everywhere.
Yeah, I'm so famous now.
Everyone's got a book published by Kyle Draper. Forget everything you know about raising babies by Kyle Draper.
That's coming. It's in the queue.
I think Ruby's going to be a co-author of that one, right?
That's right. Yep. Absolutely.
Let's rewind that, man. Like your first book, right? Forget everything you know about social media.
Yeah.
What was it, about 3 years ago?
A little over 2.
Okay.
April was 2 years.
April was 2 years. Congratulations.
Yep. Thanks.
And now you got a whole collection of all those different color books behind you.
We have 6 out, and we have, holy cow, 8 more that'll be out before the year's over.
Yeah.
So we're having fun.
I mean, what I gotta, because like when you came out with the purple book, like I thought, okay, this is cool. I read it, I loved it. You know what I mean? Took my notes. I got all those little scribbly lines all over it. Right, the rock episode, the rock portion where. You know what I mean? You were like tight with rock, all that kind of stuff, right?
That's
Loved it, right? But it seems like you've gone like all different directions, and it's like you're making people reevaluate, rethink everything they want know about almost any topic.
Yeah. Well, you and I are both men of faith, and when God says something, it's usually in your best interest to listen. And so, when the purple book came out, I didn't think enough of myself to go, this could be huge, right? Like I just knew I was supposed to write a book, and I wrote it. And when you start getting the same feedback from people, which was, man, this rethink everything concept is so cool. Fabi, I'm so dumb. I don't see how cool it is.
Yeah.
But when people start saying it, I'm like, oh, this is kind of cool. And so all I know to do is when things like that are happening, I go to the Lord in prayer and I'm like, okay, what am I missing? Dumb it down for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that was when he just started kind of unloading this concept of like, this should become the new age book for dummies. Because I'm 42 years old. I was 40 then. I'd never seen anybody challenge what we all know as book for dummies. There's thousands of them. And so, man, I just got off of a webinar with Brian View where I was teaching on the art of showing up. All I know how to do is just show up. I don't have a plan. There's not a strategy. And so, one book
Now,
turned
listen.
to 2 to 4 to, and we're going to see where this thing goes.
To us onlookers, us mere mortals,
Yeah,
looking on the Kyle Draper life, right?
sure.
It doesn't feel that way. It seems pretty
Well, that's good.
calculated. It seems pretty calculated.
That is God's grace, what that is.
It seems very pragmatic,
Sure.
right?
It is not.
And it seems to get ROI.
You know why it gets ROI? This is what I think. Because I'm a good person that loves people genuinely. I think that's where my ROI comes from. I don't want a single thing from anyone I ever interact with. Right? Like I show up every day to love and serve people, to give until it hurts, never expecting anything back in return. And I think that's why the ROI is there. Because by being that way, I think I've created an army of people that are like, man, I just love Kyle.
Yeah.
I want to see Kyle win. And I think it's because they know that I want to see them win. And man, when you do the right things for the right reasons, you tend to get pretty good results. And they're not as good of results as I'd like them to be. But I think that's a superpower, sadly, in our world today. Because the world would say, bro, go get yours. I know y'all are buddies, but like your kids got to eat too.
Yeah.
And that's just how a lot of people everywhere, but in our industry operate. And so it's a breath of fresh air when you like meet people that you just legit think, man, I don't think he wants anything from me.
Yeah.
And that's how I think you and I's relationship has flourished. It's just.
I mean, listen, I know I was supposed to meet you in Dallas. I was supposed to meet you in Dallas a few weeks ago, and I was so like I just couldn't cram like divert the car. I mean, I sitting right, you know what I mean? It was right there, and I was like, dude, I want to go pick him up and grab, but I just like, if I did that, it was literally, I arrived in Dallas from Stephenville, right at the point of where if I lost 30 minutes, because you know how DFW is, dude. When you got to return a car and you got to find the right bus and you got to get to the right term, because that's happened to me where I end up at the wrong terminal. Right.
And that can take 2 hours if you're not careful.
And I had like a 30-minute, like I could go sit in the airport for 30 minutes, or I could try to find Kyle real quick and have like just to give a hug for 10 seconds. So I chose sanity. And I hope you forgive me for that.
This is what good relationships do, is there's always grace without it even having to be asked for.
Yeah, man.
I
love that. Yeah. Well, I mean, grace is something that we, it's funny. Dana Georgia was on the show a few weeks ago. We were talking about grace.
Yeah.
And, and I explained to her, I said, grace is something that we get that is undeserved.
That's it.
And when we understand that, then we can start really appreciating all the things that we get. But so listen, dude.
You know what she did? Can I tell you this real fast?
Yeah.
She, we both live in Texas, but she's in South Texas. I'm in North Texas.
Which is better?
Well, I mean, I'm not trying to start fights with people, but like South Texas is basically like on the equator.
Equator.
So it is so freaking hot down there.
Equator.
So I try to go down there. So they can have it. But was she, and it's really not, those of you that don't know me, you're like, that dude doesn't know where the equator is. It's not in Texas. It might as well be. Okay. Quit freaking judging me. But I was doing an event in North Texas, and Dana just came walking in. And she was in Dallas for an event. And so she came over to this coffee shop and surprised me. It was great. We got to hang out for a little bit. She's a sweet lady.
She is. She's brilliantly smart.
Yes. That's why she, helped write this white book right here.
Yes. Yeah. We dove into it, man. I have my copy. I think I got to, is there like some kind of award I get if I collect all colors?
Yeah. Yep. We will start the Fabi Award.
Yeah.
We'll hand out golden Fabies to people.
Golden. I like that. Golden Fabies. I need one for my wife. A golden Fabi. I think she has one.
Could end up slightly sacrilegious, but
maybe.
Let's do it. That's what grace is for.
Let them tell us a sacrilegious. Look, let's dive into the show, dude, because we got a lot to cover.
Okay.
I want to talk about loan officers, the simple blueprint for loan officer growth, because here we are, Kyle, 2025.
Yep.
May 2025, right? And it's hard to believe. It's hard. Yep, you got to put that on.
Now we're getting serious.
Right. It's hard to believe that you got loan officers who still are hiding from making videos, hiding on social media, hiding from widening their grasp, widening their reach. Excuse me. They're hiding, and so I want to start off here. Like, let's start from the ground, because you're really good at this. I'm not. The psychology of why loan officers are still choosing to hide in the year 2025.
So I think we have to start at it goes back to the way I think people were taught. So most loan officers were taught social media as a business tool. So that's the first mistake. Then very quickly after that, they were told that this is a way to do lead generation. Well, the problem, Fabi, is that lead generation is typically done with strangers. But unless you're running ads, you're doing lead generation to all your friends.
Okay.
Which is annoying, right? If you and I are buddies, and all I see when you show up on social is who's looking to buy a home, check out this new listing. Here I am at this mixer. Who cares?
Yeah.
Nobody cares. And so we have to first realize the way we've learned this is not correct. We don't need lead generation. We need lead preservation.
Yeah, but I want to stop you here for a second, Kyle. I want to go back one more step farther than that.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, because that's like, I'm up here, right? I want to go here. I want to go one more backwards. I want to talk about the guy who's, let's say, I'm too old, so let's say, forget that. Let's say 42, 35. I don't know, 35, 42, right? That seems like a nice enough age, right? Maybe you've been in the business for 7 years.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Kind of made a lot of money in 2020, 21, you know what I mean? Struggling the last couple of years.
Yep.
I don't do social media. Social media sucks. Why? I don't want to make videos. You know what I mean? It takes me 6 hours to make one video.
Yep.
What's the psychology, Kyle? I mean, where's that disconnect? Like, I understand what you're saying. That's farther up the funnel, right?
Yeah.
But I want to see if you and I can crack that little shell right there where
I wish we could. Let's see if we can.
Well, I believe you can. Because you seem to really understand video and the power of video. You made me understand it way better than anybody else ever did, right?
So let me answer this differently than you might think I'm about to.
Okay.
Just to start, I have been, until like 2 weeks ago, I have been in a video funk the entire year of 2025 so far.
Okay.
I think until May, let's call it January to April, I bet I made 5 videos in the first 4 months of the year. And I was just in a funk. And the reason I tell you this is because what I ultimately think is the culprit is that no one is immune to their humanity.
Here we go. See, this is what I'm getting to right here, brother. There we go. Thank you.
No one is immune to their humanity. And so because we're human beings, we care what people think.
Mm-hmm.
And spoiler alert for the person watching this that says, I don't care what people think. You actually care what people think the most because you have to remind us that you don't care. so, so,
Okay, guys, goodbye. We'll see you later. You can't.
So it's
That's
like,
all you need to know.
like if you, and again, I don't say this as a wealthy person, but people I know, I have legit wealthy friends.
Sure.
They don't walk around with Gucci stuff. People that want you to think they're wealthy,
yes,
walk around with Gucci stuff.
Yes.
But truly wealthy people probably look more homeless than me.
There's a funniest thing that I've always experienced in life is that when I meet somebody, no matter where I'm at, doesn't matter if it's business or personal, right? And they'll say within the first, I don't know, 15 to 20 minutes, the conversation turns to all the things that they own.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Kyle, my defensive come up. And I'm like, somebody please save me from this guy. Like, I don't want to be here. I'm not going to be in this conversation. And so I get what you're saying. Yep. So let's come back to the video thing here, right?
Yep. So
what you're saying is when people say, I don't care what other people think.
Yep.
They actually care the most.
100%. And so we all fall into funks. My funk happened because I chose to take December off from doing content, and it was a good decision, right? I disconnected, spent more time with my family, and man, you take that long off from anything, and it's easy for it to be a struggle to jump back in. Mm-hmm. And so I look up and it's mid-January, and I'm going in my head, I'm going, nobody misses me. Nobody cares that I haven't been on here in a month. Nobody values what I have to say. Yeah. I'm not that great at anything. Yeah. Like, and I'm feeding myself all these lies. Maybe there's some truths in them. I don't know.
I feel like you're recording my conversations with me in my head.
100%. And so then there goes January. There goes February. And then that gap's gotten even wider. And so all of those things set in even deeper. And
so really what we come down to, Kyle, is this: is we are now inside the lizard brain of the human brain. That little bit of piece that's left over from our caveman ancestors that finds everything wrong because it's trying to preserve ourselves.
Yep.
So everything wrong gets even more, focused in on and exaggerated. And so nobody cares about me, da-da-da-da. Let's throw in some self-pity. Let's throw in this. I'm a failure, blah, 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 blah. So now the loan officer who's been successful for a couple of years, been having a rough couple of years.
Yep.
Psychologically, how do they even get in front of a camera now? Because what you just said, they've been experiencing for 3 years.
Yeah.
You've only experienced it for a few months.
That's it.
Right?
That's it. And so I'm listening to a book right now called The Comfort Crisis. Have you read that one?
No.
Dude, it's insane.
I'm in the middle of Let 'Em by Mel Gibbons, I guess.
Oh yeah. I love Mel Robbins.
Mel Robbins, excuse me, sorry. Yeah.
Man, the Comfort Crisis, it talks about how in a way our brain doesn't make sense. Mm-hmm. Because our brain tries to talk us out of everything.
Yeah. Everything.
And so when I begin to think about, like, if I started thinking about the color pink, and every time I thought about the color pink, it brought negative feelings, my brain is naturally going to be like, "Whoa, there's a pink car over there. Don't walk that way." Like, because it feels the negative feelings, and then the brain is wired to go, well, I want to try to help Kyle avoid all those negative feelings. And so if anybody's ever done this, but then not gone through with it, think bad thoughts, I'm so fat, I sound like a 12-year-old, you're training your brain to fight against that action.
Yeah. I've always said this for the longest time, and I don't say always, but at least for the last 15 years, right? That if I had a human being that spoke to me the way my brain speaks to me, I would never speak to that person. I would try to get as far away as possible from that individual. I'd be like, dude, you are not good. I've blocked you on all social media. I blocked you on my cell phone. Like, don't come near my office. Don't come near my house. Just stay away. I mean, but it's in our brain. It's in our head. It's between our 2 ears. So now, I love this. See, because I knew you could help me identify this. I knew we
that
could.
Was good. That was good enough.
Yeah, I love that. I love it. I mean, I don't want to take up the whole show because we could literally talk about this for another 6 hours. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I want the people to understand. Like, here is the problem, and I want everyone to understand in the that's listening to this show is that we all are dealing with it.
Everybody.
Nobody on this planet is immune from that feeling.
Right.
So, Kyle, the next part is how do we get over that? What is it?
So, let me bring you in on my journey of this year, right?
Yeah.
So, the way it worked for me is what I've always noticed. And again, I'm not the most fit person in the world, right? Working out has never been my favorite thing to do, but I'm forcing myself to get back into it. That's a whole different story. The way my brain works is while I'm engaged with something else that I'm doing that's hard, it makes me now more willing to do other hard things.
Say that again. Say that. I want to really understand what you just said.
When I begin to do an activity that is hard, it makes me more willing to do other hard things.
Yeah, got it. Because
Also,
because you built the muscle.
100%. But also the bunk bed to this thought, the top bunk to this thought is because of our lives, there's technology everywhere, right? No matter what I do, I try to unplug. You're not really unplugged. And so my only peace and quiet ever comes when I'm on an airplane or when I'm on a walk. And so when I'm on a walk, because I can't record video on an airplane, that'd be weird.
It wouldn't be. I think that'd be a great video.
Well, yeah, I mean, from a ruining other people's vibe, probably not the best. I'll do one in the bathroom next time, and I'll tag you in it, since that's like the only solace on the airplane. But when I'm on a walk, it's when my brain starts going, "Oh, dude, I'm going to say what's up to Fabi. I'm going to record a video for Fabi. I'm going to say what's up to," and all of a sudden, and this happened to me 3 weeks ago, maybe 4 weeks ago. I looked up and on a walk, I recorded 10 private one-to-one videos.
Nice.
Well, what did that do? That all of a sudden shook all that rust off of my inability to do video. And just like that, I was back ready to do video again.
Wow, the baby steps.
And this is what people overthink. Like we're so there. We have such a jacked up perception of what social media is, how it's supposed to work, how we should measure. And so we get fearful of what if it doesn't get enough likes? What if I get an ugly comment? What if I say something stupid? Right? All of those different things. And so that is what keeps us from doing video when I work the same muscles sending one-to-one videos on my walk.
Yeah.
But there's no fear because I'm text messaging those videos to people I already know, but I'm overcoming the struggle just as if I were doing a video for a TikTok reel, you know?
So let's pause for a second. So if you're a loan officer struggling with making videos, and you know that it's important. So first, I hope everyone understands that how important it is to make videos on social media in order to expand your market base. So let's make sure we put a pin in that one and really hold on to that, right? What you're saying is like, look, let's work the muscle. Make some really short little videos for your cousin, for your best friend, for your favorite realtor, for your not so favorite realtor.
Sure. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Whatever. Just make these little ones that, you know what I mean, just checking in on you, blah, 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 and send it. And see what happens, right? And you get that muscle kind of working, and you get out of that. And I guess in a way, also what you're doing is you have that reward process now working, where the fear is not there of making the video. I'm sorry, I'm going on a rant right now. I know this is your show, but
this is your show.
No, it's actually yours. Trust me. I'm just the guy that opens up everything. But when I started making my videos with Sam Dog, walking him in the morning,
Yeah.
like I was oblivious to the fact that I was recording myself because I was
Right.
just talking, and it was me and Sammy walking through the woods.
That's it.
And I think that's where that's where the brain is at your peak performance.
Well,
And you're
are
in
you ready?
comfort.
Are you ready for this?
Yeah.
Again, I'm not a doctor or scientist, but here's why I think what you just said is true, because it's true for me. When I am out in nature, there's so much going on around me, right? Like now I'm not in woods like you are, but there's a part of your mind that's like you're kind of looking for animals,
Mm-hmm.
right? You're kind of watching where your footing is. You know, I'm making sure I'm still on the sidewalk and not stumbling into the street.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think what happens is psychologically, we distract our brain just enough to make what it was talking us out of now possible.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because your brain is like, dude, is that a snake over there?
Yeah.
It's not concerned with your selfie video at that moment
Right. Right.
because there's a greater risk.
Yeah.
And I think that's it. We could, if we had someone smarter, they could go, oh yeah, that's because in the frontal cortex and the,
Yeah. We got to get Steve Scallon on the show with us one day.
yeah.
He can
So
figure out
somebody could explain that, but I would guarantee you that's why, that's why that happens that way.
Let's stay on this simple stuff here, right? Because sometimes, and this is me, right? I see loan officers posting on LinkedIn. Rates got cut today. Good time to buy a house. I know there's realtors on LinkedIn. I'm not stupid. I get that, right?
Yeah.
But LinkedIn is more of a business to business type of platform. I mean, I guess they get. I don't know. Maybe somebody gets a loan every now and then. I don't know.
No, they don't.
Right? Okay. I don't know. But LinkedIn, it seems odd.
Don't give them hope.
Okay. LinkedIn, you will not get a loan. Maybe now you know what's gonna happen. I'm gonna get 4 texts. Trust me, I'm gonna get people texting me saying, I got my best realtor from LinkedIn. And I know that happens every now and then, right?
Sure, but not because of that type of post.
Right. But what I think what I want to identify is a simple platform with a simple game plan that they could execute tonight.
Dude,
so
you ready?
Yeah, man.
Can I give you the game plan that has nothing to do with social media?
Whatever it is, give it.
Dude, okay. I don't even think you and I have talked about this before. So I'm very excited about this.
I'm
so
bated breath.
If you are my lender and we go way back, we're best friends, we're fraternity brothers, right? Whatever.
Yeah.
In a traditional family environment, one member of the family is responsible for that transaction, right? And the rest are just kind of along for the ride. So you're helping us buy a house. My wife's entrusted me to work with you, but she wants to know what's up, right? She acts like she doesn't, but she does. And so you call me, we talk for 15 minutes. We have a great conversation. We talk about all types of stuff. You update me on where we're at in the process. And then I get home and I go, hey, honey, guess what? Fabi called. And she goes, what did Fabi say? And then Fabi, I say, he said, we're good. and much to your laughter, I think we're all realizing right here in this moment, that wasn't a good enough answer.
Never is. Never is.
And now my wife has gotten a flashlight and she's interrogating me. And she's going, well, how long were y'all on the phone? 15 minutes. In 15 minutes, all he said was, we're good. Well, no, he said more. What did he say? Okay. There's so many layers to this. One, every LO that makes that phone call is patting themselves on the back for making that phone call.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the worst part of this story is that they think they're doing a good job. But they're starting World War III in families all over this country. Because now my wife is ticked. I'm mad at you because it's like, I'm not the loan officer. I shouldn't be the one that's trying to tell my wife like where we're at in this process.
Yeah, man.
And so imagine if all somebody did that was watching this today, I'm not saying don't call. What if right after you hung up with me, you opened up your camera and you said, hey, Lana, let's be honest. Kyle's not going to tell you anything that we just talked about. So I just wanted to give you a quick update on where we're at with the house. And then you send that video in a group text between the three of us.
Oh my God.
Bobby, here's the most profound part of this. I believe that the average LO is receiving half of the referral opportunities available to them.
My God.
Because they only connect to one spouse.
My God. Wow. Holy cow.
But if you were sending update videos throughout the process, you may have never talked on the phone to my wife.
Remember when I said I always walk with one nugget?
Is this the nugget?
This is the biggest nugget.
You need a golden nugget video that, like,
I mean, well, that's what I said about you. I said you drop more nuggets than Ronald McDonald. I mean, people think I'm. So the reason I started cracking up when you said that, right? Because you know my producer JP, right?
Yeah.
A few weeks ago, his lovely wife was rushed to the emergency room because of some allergy or whatever, right? And so my wife, I told her, hey, JP, Rhonda. She said, what happened? They went to the emergency room. When? Last night. Is she okay? I don't know. I would give him the flashlight. I would give him the interrogation. And I'm like, you know what? Call JP. If you're that concerned about Rhonda, call JP and I'm sure he'll tell you. And I'm like, I walked out of the house. Like, I'm done.
Dude, your loan officers are doing this to families every day.
Yeah,
they have no idea.
And this is not even social media.
No, we're not even making you face that fear.
I mean, this is crazy. This is just you recording the update, the status update, and sending it to them on a group text on something that you already own.
That's it. This costs you nothing.
Oh my God.
Because here's what's wild about this is, like, in a traditional environment, we get to closing and you come and my wife's going to hug you and we're going to take a picture and you're going to leave that title office going, man, I crushed that. Man, the Drapers, like, man, they know people like this. They're going to probably send us a bunch of business. My wife would be the one that has people over and she'll never even consider your name because y'all never had a relationship. She won't have bad thoughts.
Well, she may if we cause 413 in your kitchen.
That's true. But she's going to be more mad at me, right? Like, I should have been listening better.
But we get the splatter of those negative vibes.
100%. And so this is like, so to tie a bow on just this concept, every LO should look at their process. The process of how they communicate to the buyer, the process of how they communicate to the buyer's agent, seller's agent, right? The process of how they communicate to title, whoever all the different people are. And you should ask yourself, how many steps in this process could become a video?
So I think so. Here's a couple of things. So in my head, right, I'm hearing loan officers all across the country literally say in like a resounding voice, but we have a CRM, Kyle, that does all that for us. So why do I got to do that?
Well, that's a great question. There's two types of videos here. The video example I gave to you and me, right? That is a one-to-one personal on-the-spot video. There's a dozen other videos in your processes that can be what are called evergreen videos. Because I would imagine in every stage of every buyer, at some point you have to ask for docs. You should have a video that's asking for docs so that in your CRM, it takes them to the video in that email. Now they get to see you and it changes the experience.
Yeah, let me also add in one other thing here. And probably every owner of a mortgage company, retail side or wholesale, I don't know, probably is going to cringe when I say this. Not every, but I would say a few of them that
should I hide so I'm not?
No, you set me up for this. So now the CRM videos are branding who? Most of the time they're branding the company.
Sure. Yep.
Look at us, we did such a great job. You're on the next milestone, blah, 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 blah. But if we're talking about personalizing you and your brand to that referral source, Kyle's video tip right here is golden, because that is you 100% branding yourself to that family. That's about as grassroots as it gets.
That's it.
So I mean, that's a great nugget. That's a great nugget.
Man, I mean, I could sit here for forever talking about when I talk to lenders and ask them how many of the right realtor partners would like change your life, they say 6, 10, 12, not 100, not 1,000,000, not 10,000 followers. And so I go, if you were communicating like this to the realtors on the deal, how many sellers agents are you going to ultimately win that go, you communicated better to me than my own lender ever has? And it doesn't, again, no money. This doesn't all come with a
are you doing this? Are you doing this with people that are using your services, Kyle?
None of my services involve this. Like I have a coaching business where we coach the concept, but I don't own anything that like ultimately this is the vehicle you should push those videos.
Where do these ideas come from? Because it's such a brilliant idea.
Dude, when your brain only functions from a place of how do I create more value for someone? What is the hurdle keeping me from that value? What do I have to overcome to like get through and be trusted by them? Right? Like, and this is a whole nother thing. And I can even show a big chart. This is my new keynote that I've started delivering. But when two people are interacting, there is self-preservation coming from both sides, right? I'm trying to protect me. You're trying to protect you. Somebody's got to be willing to go first. And so these ideas happen as I just think through, man, what is the natural self-preservation that's taking place from the buyer? And how could I break down that wall? Oh my gosh, it would be if I did that husband a solid and send his wife a video.
Yeah.
Getting him off the hook for having to remember everything that I just told him.
So you literally answered 2 questions in one soup. So I was gonna ask you what your favorite tech piece is. So obviously it's a phone. One mistake loan officers are making, not making these videos to send to their buyers, right?
Yeah.
Let me ask you one thing. We see these things on social media, trending stuff. And so I'm not that hip on social media as you may think, right? So I think you're probably way more hip. Like, what do loan officers have to participate in these social media trends in order to get followers?
No.
So why is it like every now and then I'll see loan officers doing some kind of dancing move or some kind of like lipping somebody's movie scene that's like trending all of a sudden? Or what is that about? It confuses me.
Because we've convinced people that social media works based on the amount of followers that you have. And so that is the scoreboard that we've created to make you believe that you're winning or losing. So that's the first piece.
Yeah.
The second piece is social media was really the first thing that showed up and could provide us instant gratification. So if I feel bad about myself, I could post a selfie with one of my kids, 300 likes later. I feel pretty good about myself.
I think fried chicken is pretty close up to getting instant gratification.
100%. Now, if I had a picture of one of my kids holding fried chicken,
woo, 500
might blow up the internet. So we've created this environment where it provides instant gratification.
Yeah.
Then we've created this kind of subliminal grading system that says, oh, you only have 2,100 followers? Oh, yikes.
Yeah.
But if we're being honest and we go, whoa, okay, loan officer, you just said you need 8 of the right realtors. Tell me again why you need to get to 10,000 followers.
Yeah, thank you.
And so the only way, and I wrote about this, where is it? And I wrote about this in the Purple Book. As long as we let ego drive, we're going to lose online. Because ego says, oh, I need to do those cute pointing videos.
Yeah.
And I need to do those lip syncs. Yeah. And I need to, because those are what go viral. Dude, if we're being honest, I bet you 99.9% of loan officers would get so screwed if they went viral.
Yeah.
Because they don't have the systems and processes in place.
I heard this one loan officer say that they, from one video that they posted, they received, I believe they, and I'm you know, my memory's fading, right? They said, I believe they said they received like 10,000 leads from one video that they posted, right? And I was like, okay. So I did what the Fabi thing does, right? I went on this Redder site and I said, okay, let's pull up their volume. And their volume did not match somebody who just got 10,000 leads from a video.
Well, right? Maybe they just have, maybe they're not good at closing.
I don't know, man, but it's like, okay, so you got 10,000 leads. So on social media, and this, I want to debunk this a little bit, right?
Yeah.
I think it is worth debunking.
Yeah, 100%.
Sometimes the leads we get on social media aren't actually credit worthy or even mortgage worthy.
Yeah.
And it takes a lot of leads to get to one actual funded loan.
Yes.
So, but I think for me, what I understand about social media, and to your point of 6, maybe 8 really good real estate agents, they begin to follow content that's quality rather than the viral stuff that's going to get you 10,000 leads. And now you work your butt off, but you can only close 4 loans out of those 10,000 leads.
Right. Yep.
So I think
it's why, and I hate that I'm even saying this now as the social media guy, but if a lender would just truly engage and invest in the one-to-one video aspect of this, they could never do video on social media and their business would grow because they would be showing up in front of the right people for the right reasons, and it would change everything. And people could still go, oh, but Fabi, you only have 300 Facebook friends? Like, why are you such a loser?
Yeah, no, I don't friend everybody. That's why.
And you could be closing 100 loans because you're showing up in their pocket all the time.
Yeah.
Right, on their birthdays.
Can I tell you something I started doing on Facebook?
Yeah, yeah.
We got to end the show here. JP got a kick out of what I told him. So when people's birthdays pop up on Facebook, and I'm like, who is this guy? Like, I don't know them. How do they become a friend of mine? That's like my way of unfriending people now.
Dude, yeah, that's the birthday delete.
Yes, I want to slowly start getting it down to where I'm just like friends with 26 people that I like hanging out with, whether I'm in person or on social media with, because I don't need to be bombarded by everyone's opinions on the best pizza in town. Like, I got my pizza joint, I'm good.
That's right.
Right? I got my loan officer, he's good.
Man, pizza, that sounds good right now.
Fried chicken and pizza, Kyle. That's what I'm talking about.
Oh,
man. Right? I mean, that's you talk about instant gratification.
I'll have to go walk twice today because I'm probably eating that.
So. Kyle, where can people connect with you, man? If they want to find Kyle Draper, where do they find you, brother?
I am Coach Kyle Draper everywhere on the internet. You can go to kyledraper.com. Other than that, you can find me anywhere.
In North Texas, not in South Texas, ladies and gentlemen.
That's right. Don't be taking me towards the...
You will not find Kyle Draper in South Texas anytime soon.
No, thank you.
That's where the equator is. They moved it up a few miles north.
You do enough video, guys, you will say stupid things.
I love that, though. I love saying stupid things on video, man. One day I'm going to put out a video of all the bloopers that we did with Sammy. Because I think it's interesting when people start seeing that, like, oh my God, like there was all sorts of things going on. Like when Sammy pulled me into the creek one winter morning.
Oh my!
And it was just like there I was with wet. I mean, it was 32 degrees. It was like, what are you gonna do?
We need to see that.
Yeah, man. Why not? So listen, Kyle, thank you for coming out here. This was good.
Honored.
I always love these amazing nuggets. Look, guys, go out there, just execute, please, guys. execute. Somebody execute this idea, because I'm telling you, these are golden ideas that KD just dropped on you. So thank you again. Thank you. If you like this episode, share it, like it, post it. Give some love to KD, man, because he's feeling.
Oh, I need it. My ego
loves all that.
desires
love, right? All right, man. JP, get us out of here, my brother.